Hey guys, welcome to A Little Bit of Monica. We are going over my May TBR today, and I'm very excited to be sharing this TBR for not one, but two very important reasons. First of all, this is only the second month that I will be playing my TBR game, Plinko. I just started it back in April and had so much fun playing this game, and I can't wait to incorporate it into my TBR. But I also have to give a quick shout out to the month-long readathon that I am participating in for the month of May. You may have heard of Escape the Readathon. This is a month-long competitive readathon created and hosted by Lexi from Books with Lexi, and every year basically you are competing against the other teams to try to be the first group to be able to escape whatever the setting is. This year we are going on the Orange Cat cruise, so we are all going to be trapped on a cruise ship together and only one team can get out. So what makes this year a little bit more different for me is that I actually will be playing the role of a game master this year, which is going to be super fun because it means I am basically just responsible for making sure that there is as much chaos as possible. The game masters, as we read throughout the month, our reads are going to count against teams, and Lexi has some very special ways for how she determines that, but essentially my reads are going to go against other teams to keep them on this cruise. The game masters, we are trying to be those puppet masters. We are trying to make sure that nobody can escape. So I am determined to have a really good reading month and hopefully keep some of these teams from being able to get out. If you don't know a whole lot about Escape the Readathon yet, but you are interested, I have the link to Lexi's announcement video in the description. Please check that out. This is very, very heavily Discord run, so you get all the updates from the Discord, so you will need to join that. I will have all the information linked below, but I would love to have you join in and have some fun with us. It's going to be a crazy month. Lexi always has some crazy things up her sleeve, but I cannot wait to see all of it unfold. If you are already participating, let me know what team you're on. Again, I'm not on a team and I have no favorites, but I do want to hear all the excitement for all of the different teams because they are some incredible people as hosts, and just participating in general is going to be so much fun. But how does this factor into my TBR game, you might be asking? Well, I have my new TBR game, Plinko, that I recently started playing, and it has been so much fun, but I decided to change things up a little bit and tailor it a little bit more particularly towards this readathon. Welcome back to another round of TBR Plinko. For today's prompts, we are going to be pulling from the rooms that we will be visiting on this Orange Cat cruise. So I am going to have a spot for each of the 6 rooms. First is the dining room, which is to match the book to my current outfit. Next is the bar, which is a genre blend. Next is the theater, which is a popcorn read. Number 4 is the pool, which includes double letters in the title. Followed by the arcade, which is an underrated book. The gym and spa, which is a book I've been putting off. And because my Plinko has 7 spots, I decided to also include the library and concierge desk, which will be my choice of another book to add on. But first, we are going to start off by dropping a chip to see how many books I will be adding to my TBR. 4. I will be picking 4 books and dropping 4 more chips to pick those books. Let's drop our first chip to find out what my first prompt will be. Number 4 is the pool. I will be reading a book that has double letters in the title. 4 books is not so bad. I can definitely handle this. And for book 1, the prompt that I got was from the pool. So I need to pick a book that has double letters in the title. This doesn't necessarily have to be double letters that are next to each other. It just means that there has to be exactly 2 of a particular letter in that title. But I took it a step further and I managed to not only have a letter that is only twice in the title, but they are also side by side. So the book I'm going to use is If I Told You I'd Have to Kiss You by May Marvel. Now, this is one of the arcs that I have, and I make it my goal to read the arcs a month before they come out from my NetGalley. So this book is supposed to be coming out on June 24th. So it is on my May TBR already. So it seemed perfect to add it here because not only are there 2 S's exactly in the title here, they're also side by side. So If I Told You I'd Have to Kiss You is the perfect book to add on for this room. Now, this book is going to be a romance about some super spies, which sounds super fun. It is described as Mr. and Mrs. Smith meets The Pairing, which sounds like such a fascinating combination of ideas. But the synopsis also starts really, really fun by saying a few rules for the international super spy: never blow your cover, never accept the first plan, and never fall for anyone at the agency, especially if she's your ex-girlfriend. Oh my gosh. First of all, I never know how to feel about second chance romance, and that seems where this is going to be going. However, the international super spy vibes, I am so here for it. I cannot wait to try this book out. But I I have more than one book on my TBR, so let's go ahead and do that second drop and figure out what other books I might be reading this month. Drop number 2. Let's find out what my next book will be. That fell through number 5, which is The Arcade, an underrated book. The Arcade with an underrated book. See, this is hard because I feel like my instinct is to think about books as being underrated after I've read them, and then I can determine if they have the appropriate or not enough hype. So trying to think of an underrated book before I've read it is really, really hard. However, there is a book that I've been really excited to read, but I haven't really heard a lot of hype about it, so I am going to put this one onto this prompt, The Last Hour Between Worlds by Melissa Caruso. So this book I got from Illumicrate. It is an absolutely stunning edition. I love this color. It's like my favorite color. It is beautiful. This is a time travel-y type of fantasy book, I believe. And I got the audiobook from the Libro FM influencer program like a couple of months ago, and I never got around to reading this yet, but I definitely want to get to it. I have the audio, I have the physical, everything is setting me up for success here. And with such a stunning book, I need this book to be good, but I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it, which makes me a little bit nervous. Is that a good thing? Is it just that people haven't discovered how good this book is, or should I be nervous? I don't know. I don't know what to think. If you've read this, let me know what I should be expecting. So I'm gonna put this for underrated because I have not heard nearly enough people talking about this, and I need to know. I need to know why that is. But let's go ahead and get that next book ready. Now for our third drop out of 4, let's start on this side. Number 6, so that will be A Trip to the Gym and Spa, a book I've been putting off. Okay, for a book I've been putting off, I decided to go way back, and find a book that I have had on my NetGalley list for, I want to say almost a year, and that feels really bad because I love turning my NetGalley books around as quickly as I possibly can, but I've had it for so long and I just haven't gotten around to it. So the perfect time to read The Trials of Lila Dalton by L.J. Shepard. This is a thriller, and I'm gonna be honest, thrillers just haven't been hitting for me the way that I wanted over the last couple of months, which makes me a little nervous to be jumping into this one. And that's also why I've never picked it up willingly before. I'm gonna be honest, I've had this for so long, I don't even remember what it's about, other than I know that it's a thriller. This is from Poison Pen Press, and I love getting their books, and I have really, really enjoyed some of the titles that I've read from them before. So I am very eager to try this one out. I am just hoping that I can get back into a thriller mode. I'm hoping that this Orange Cat cruise and feeling the twisty vibes of, you know, chaos and just things going wrong. I really hope that I can get back into like a little bit of a thriller mood here. So I'm gonna hope for the best by adding this one onto my TBR. And now for our final drop, book number 4 for this month. Number 1, which is The Dining Room. So I will be matching a book to my current outfit. Okay, going to the dining room with a book that matches my current outfit. So I am wearing this Orange Cat Cruise t-shirt as the official merch for Escape, and it was a little bit difficult to find a book that was going to match. However, I found one that I think is the perfect choice, and as soon as I saw it, there was no second guessing. I knew this had to be the book that goes onto my list, and it works because this one, along with The Last Hour Between Worlds, and this one as well, both count towards my goal of reading through my special editions, which has been one of my goals this year as well, is to be reading at least a few of my special editions every month so that I don't get too far behind. And Cruel is the Light by Sophie Clark actually fits perfectly. I think the coloration of these is spectacular. The cover here is a little bit of like a grayish blue. The shirt I'm wearing is gray and the letters are blue, but it also has this golden tone that I think can be matched a little bit by the orange cats on the t-shirt. This book is about something to do with the Vatican. I think it's a Vatican training academy. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but from what I understand of the story, and admittedly the description on the inside cover of this does not give me too much of the plot, but it's about an exorcist and a foot soldier, and the two of them are going to have kind of like a reluctant alliance when things start to go wrong, and they have to work together to solve some mysteries, uncover some secrets, and I'm not really sure what else they're gonna have to do. This book is a lot thicker than I expected it to be, but it's so pretty, and if you know me, you know I love pretty books, and I love even more when the pretty books are pretty on the inside. So I am very eager to find out what this book is going to be like, if I'm going to like it. This is a relatively new addition to my shelves, so that's exciting too, that I get to turn this around pretty quickly. I just got, I want to say this was maybe February or March from Fairy Loot. Honestly, it's so hard to remember which books are which month, but I know it was sometime in the beginning of this year that I got this one, so it's a pretty quick turnaround, and this is immediately going onto my TBR. TBR because I could not find a better match for the tones of the book to the tones of the t-shirt. Now, those are the 4 books that I have from my specific TBR game, but there are a couple other books that I do need to talk about that are going to be on my TBR for May as well. I mentioned that I am trying to read through all of my NetGalley arcs, and the books that come out in June are going to be on my May list. Well, there's a couple other ones that I didn't get to talk about because they were not technically fitting to the prompts of the game so far, but there's ones that I want to draw some attention to. So also going on my May TBR is a book that comes out on May 27th, and this one is Whispers of Dead Girls by Marley Bush. I read When She Was Me by Marley Bush last year as an arc, and I absolutely loved it. I thought this book was brilliant. The twists were twisty, and the environment was so creepy. I absolutely had so much fun with it. So when I was offered the arc for this new release, I immediately took it, and I'm very excited to have this on my list. I'm hoping that it's going to live up to what the previous book was. I believe this is going to be about a young woman who goes back to her hometown where her teenage sister had been murdered, and she's going to go back, and I'm not sure if she's going to be trying to solve any mysteries, but essentially she's going to be working through probably some trauma over what happened to her sister, and she's probably going to end up interacting with the people that are semi-responsible for what happened to her. So this is going to be very, very interesting. It also has a lot of small town vibes, which I really like, so I'm looking forward to having this one to try out. Another book that comes out on May 27th, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet, is Love and Focus by Lila Lee. This was on my April TBR, and I just didn't get to it in April. So it's going back on the TBR because I do want to get to this one and I don't want to be getting too far behind. So those 2 books are ones that are technically coming out in May. So they are on my May TBR and they're going to be a little bit more of a priority. But then I also have the 2 that I talked about in my TBR game, which are The Trials of Lila Dalton and If I Told You I'd Have to Kiss You. And then I do have a physical arc that I also want to try to read this month. This one is one I got from my local indie as a way of supporting the author and trying it out. This is Steal My Breath Away by Sarah Castile. And this book sounds like it's going to be kind of like a fake dating bodyguard situation. Fake dating is one of my absolute favorite tropes in romance, so I'm really excited to try this one out, but it also has a darker tone because the main character has a need to have a bodyguard for protection on a college campus, I believe. This is going to be a very interesting dynamic to explore, but I am really, really looking forward to this. This is going to have some darker tones as this is the daughter of a senator and she is the target of some kidnapping schemes, so there is a need for protection and just in general some like elements of fear that are going to be in here. And finally, the other book that I want to talk about being on my May TBR is not an arc at all, but it is my Stephen King book club book. I run a Stephen King book club in Discord where we pick a different Stephen King book to read together each month and just kind of casually talk about it as people get to it. And for the month of May, we will be reading The Long Walk. I admittedly don't know a lot about the plot, but as a group on Discord, we kind of put together what the schedule was going to be for these books. So this is the one that ended up on May. I'm scared. I will admit that. I am a little bit scared, but at the same time, I am always looking to kind of expand the Stephen King universe that I know of because there are so many books out there and I just want to be able to experience as many as I can. So that one is going onto my TBR as well. And if you want to participate in the Stephen King book club, the link to the Discord is in my description. You are absolutely welcome to join. We do other read-alongs as well, other romances, fantasies, plenty of other things to participate in, just kind of a fun free-for-all and ability to read some books together. That's really, really fun. But that brings me to the end of my TBR. This has been so much fun and honestly, I am so excited for May with all the fun of Escape, with all the fun of events that are coming up. I will be going to at least one book festival in May that is going to be very, very exciting. There may be a few book events that I get to go to as well at some local places, but really May is just chock full of so many fun things. But there's also going to be reading sprints happening all the time for Escape, so you can stay tuned for all of those. And if you are in the Discord, you'll be getting links to those all the time. We are going to have so much fun and there's going to be so much chaos. I cannot wait to be wreaking havoc all through that Discord. It's going to be insane and I would love to see you there if you are not already a part of it. Again, make sure that you are visiting the links that I have in the description so you can get more information and you can join in on all the fun for Escape. Lexi's incredible and I can't wait to see how May is going to go. But for now, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked seeing my TBR game, I would love to hear your thoughts. This is brand new. This is only my second month doing it, so I am very excited to be kind of still kickstarting getting into the flow, but I am so excited for it. If you have read any of these books or you have any thoughts, I would love to hear those as well. Always open to hearing some comments. I want to thank you so much for watching this video, for supporting me every moment that you spend here and every comment you leave. It just means the world to me and it is such a show of support. So I thank you so much for watching this video and I really, really hope that I will see you in the next one. Bye!